Uh, David Lang. Uh, David Eden Lang was born November 2nd, 1938. Died May 28th, 2007. David Eden Lang was an American domestic terrorist, white separatist, neo-Nazi, and a convicted felon. A member of the terrorist organization, The Order, he was convicted and sentenced to 190 years in prison for racketeering, conspiracy, and the violation of civil rights of Alan Berg, a Jewish radio talk show host, who prosecutors claim was murdered by a member of the group via a drive-by shooting with Lang acting as driver. Though they were unsuccessful in getting murder convictions, he died while still incarcerated at the FCI Terre Haute in Terre Haute, Indiana. Lang coined the 14 words, a well-known white supremacist slogan in North America. He has been described by the Southern Poverty Law Center as one of the most important ideologies of contemporary white supremacy. Lang was born as a third of four siblings in Woodin, Iowa. He had a brother and two sisters. His father was an alcoholic migrant worker who was physically abusive towards his wife and children. Lang would later claim that his brother forced his mother to engage in prostitution so he could obtain booze money, and that his older brother was rendered permanently deaf as a result of a beating gone awry. Lang was 4 years old. His father abandoned his family. In 1944, his older brother was arrested after searching for food in a neighbor's trash bins, and he and his sisters were placed in foster care. Lang was soon adopted by a traveling Lutheran minister, which resulted in Lang being separated from his two sisters. Lang described his adoptive father as a doctrine fundamentalist from the old school. Lang rejected Christianity, which he found boring. Inspired by Nazi religious beliefs, Lang later favored pagan beliefs as a more authentic, ancestral white religion as opposed to what he viewed as Jewish-influenced Christianity. Traveling across the Midwest United States with his adoptive family, Lang finally settled in Aurora, Colorado, where he attended Aurora Central High School. Originally aspiring to become a golf professional, Lang worked as a real estate broker until his license was revoked because he wouldn't sell homes to coloreds in white neighborhoods. Lang claimed that he first became attracted to women at the Caucasian race after befriending a blonde-haired girl in first grade. Lang stated that while he reenacted battles with his foster brother as a child, he portrayed a Nazi stormtrooper while his brother portrayed an American soldier. Lang was briefly a member of the John Birch Society before joining the Ku Klux Klan, becoming the organizer of the Denver unit of the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan in 1979. In later 1981, Lang became Colorado state organizer of Aryan Nations. Lang met Robert J. Matthews in July 1983 at the Aryan Nations World Congress. On September 22nd, 1983, Lang was among the 9 founding members to be sworn into the Order, a white supremacist group whose mission was to deliver our people from the Jew and bring total victory to the Aryan race. The Order was accused of stealing um, over 4.1 million in armored car hijackings, killing 3 people, one of whom was Order member Walter E. West, donating bombs, counterfeiting money, organizing materialistic training camps, and carrying out numerous other crimes with the ultimate goal of overthrowing the Zionist occupational government they deemed in control of the United States, and to liberate the Pacific Northwest as a homeland for whites. In the process, see Northwest Traditional Imperative. For his role in the order's crimes, Lane was sentenced to consecutive sentencings totaling 190 years, including 20 years for racketeering, 20 years for conspiracy, both under the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, and 150 years for violating the civil rights of Alan Berg, a Jewish radio talk show host who was murdered on June 18, 1984. Berg was shot and killed in the driveway of his Denver home by three members of the order. Lane was arrested on the evening of March 30th, 1985, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. While he did not pull the trigger, prosecutors said Lane drove the getaway car and played a huge role in planning Berg's assassination. Lane was also among 14 men prosecuted for seditious conspiracy in Fort Smith, Arkansas, but he was acquitted. Lane was considered extremely dangerous by the American justice system and was incarcerated at various times after his conviction in the United States Penitentiary, Marion, the United States Penitentiary Administrative Maximum Facility in Florence, Colorado, and the FCI Terry Harte. While incarcerated, he had the Federal Bureau of Prisons ID number 12873-057. Lane wrote books and articles about gematria and the geographic and socio-physical, socio-political status of the white race for white nationalist pluralists and websites. With his wife and Ron McVan, he ran a publishing company called 14 Word Press in Idaho to disseminate his writings. He was featured in Nazi Pop Twins, a documentary aired on July 19, 2007 on Channel 4 in the UK. In it, he was shown speaking by phone with Prussian Blue, the music act from the documentary, and termed them fantasy sweethearts and that he viewed them like daughters. Lane's earliest possible release date from prison would have been March 29, 2035, at age 96. He died on May 28, 2007, in FCI Terry Harte due to an epileptic seizure. On June 30th, 2007, white supremacists had a memorial demonstration for Lane in cities across the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, Russia, and Ukraine. Lane stated that his beliefs can be best summarized by a slogan he called the 14 words. We must secure the existence of our future and a future for white children. He also coined a 14-second word slogan. He also coined a second 14-word slogan because the beauty of the white Aryan woman must not perish from the earth. While he was in prison, Lane wrote the 88 Precepts as a treatise on his views on race, politics, and philosophy. Lane viewed these as the principles behind the two 14-word slogans. The 88 Precepts are critical of democracy and oppose government under the claim of taxation as theft. They also promoted servant leadership, a desolate theological view, and rejected racial integration, calling it a euphemism for white genocide. Lane's writing also sought to establish a white ethnostate in North America and in Eastern Europe. 88 Precepts is one of several key texts printed and distributed throughout 14-word press, including the White Genocide Manifesto. As in his other writings, Lane repeats the claim that white people are threatened by a lack of exclusive territorial homogeny and forced racial mixing. Lane viewed the United States government as part of a Zionist conspiracy. Consistent with the restrictive gender roles which were practiced with Aryan nations, percent 35 of 88 precepts regard homosexuality as unnatural and also view sex as an act of reproduction which should be performed for the sole purpose of increasing the size of white population. Lane also considers sex as a motivation for male subjugation of women who are expected to be subservient. Lane advises men to subjugate women via power and control of territory. He also advises white men to take up arms for this purpose. According to his website, the United Clans of America view the 88 Precepts as a source for which we can ascertain lasting truths. Lane was one of the founders of the Wokeisfolk movement. I'm sorry, Wotansfolk movement, a racist neo form of Idaism which he formed with his wife Kataya in 1995 in order to promote his ideology, which pursued a program of concerted outreach to prisoners. Wotansfolk combines an Aryan call to arms with an esoteric teaching partially based on Jungian philosophy, Jungian psychology, Volkish philosophy, and National Socialism. Lane distanced himself from Universalist Ordinists who did not embrace survival of the Aryan race as a core part of the movement. Lane argued with Stephen McNellan, then leader of the Asatru Folk Assembly, when Lane was alive. By 2017, McNally came out with support for Lane's 14 words, quoting them verbatim. Aiming to foment a white revolution, Wotansvold endorsed leaderless resistance, a strategy which was popularized by Louis Beam, a Klan veteran and a longtime friend of the Lane family. However, 14-Word Press and Temple of the Wutan were defunct organizations and as a result no longer having mailing addresses or websites, although Wotanism is still practiced by independent kindreds. Defunct Arkansas group White Revolution was founded with oversight from the incarcerated Lane, but was dissolved after ideological disputes, including Lane's hostile teaching regarding Christian identity, leading its founder, Betty Roper, to encourage identity uh, adherents to merge with Thomas Robb's Klan group in Harrison, Arkansas. Portraying Sir Francis Bacon and Shakespeare as being adept to ancient divine wisdom and believing that the pyramids were built by Aryan architects, Lane taught a belief called the Pyramid Prophecy, which included the concept that the Bible code was inserted by Aaron uh, accepts within the King James Version of the Christian Bible. Lane alleged deciphered code describing him as being the man who is described in the book of Revelation. The America being the beast, but that belief was censored by Ron McVan and other strategists who believed that Lane's uh, Messianic antichrist claims would be counterproductive by turning off potential coverts. Lane also issued a declaration called the Moral Authority, which called the United States a red, white, and blue traveling mass murder machine intent on committing genocide against white people. According to the declaration, moral authority, um, true moral authority belongs to those who resist this uh, pro per, perpetrate genocide. Lane claimed that was the Sun Man and the America was the beast, and that the 1488 was an integral part of coding in his pyramid prophecy and was fundamental Wotanism. 1488 is a combination of the 14 as in Lane's 14 words and 88 a white national supremacist abbreviation for that right there.